Good morning. So it is August 23rd. I have completed my session prep for Symbaroum online game Saturday. So Saturday we are playing David, Justin, Dell, and I will be GMing a icebreaker session of Symbaroum. So Symbaroum, I've talked about this before. I was lucky enough in 2018, 2019 to play 5 sessions with my local group, and I've talked about this briefly. I don't think I recapped maybe 2 sessions of those before I left on after Harold's demise. And this is my favorite modern fantasy game and a favorite modern fantasy mechanics, and I haven't touched it since 2019. And since my local group said they would like me to run them, I dug it out. I ordered the starter box, and I can't recommend this highly enough. It's called the Treasure Hunts in Dakavar. It's a starter set. You've got enough in the rule book to really play it and enjoy it, and you've also got a little guide. But what's really cool about this, despite the fact you don't get like a DM screen, you do get what is called the expedition rules, which are part of the the Dakavar DM screen, which can be found on PDF at DriveThruRPG, as well as Justin informs me those rules are also in the Thorn campaign books. Book 4, those rules can be found too. So what's really cool is you really do get great value with this. As you get maps, you get pre-mades, you get a great starter book that teaches you the game, and you can really run quite a few sessions with that. And then you get I think there's a couple of adventures in this. I don't use pre-written adventures. I always write my own, and that's just the way I am. I'll use a setting. I love sticking to the canon of something like this. That inspires me. So the gist of the story is not that we're going to be running Symbaroum on Saturday. It's that I'm so inspired and so love this setting in this particular book. I have done traditional prep. So I have prepped a single night session prep. We will use the expedition rules, certainly for navigation to the ruins, and then we can use the expedition excavation rules, etc. at some point. But the gist of it is I prepared a traditional session, roughly 6 scenes, and those scenes hopefully will wrap up our session, or potentially, it depends on what happens, obviously, in every scene. But the gist of it is I have been using naive narrator in everything I've run for the last 2 years, everything. So if I ran, the only thing I ran, I think that was traditional, was for Eloy and Jose's Adventures in the Eastmark sessions. Those were modules. Those were pre-written modules that I had done. And then from that point on, I was running everything at naive narrator using a random seed chart. So I have to tell you, it's been 2 years since I've run a traditional. Well, I lie. I did run the Peace session, which was written. I forgot all about Peace that I ran for Robert, the author of that, and Dell and David. That was traditional. I prepped a traditional kind of adventure. So ultimately, there are 2 games that inspired me to be traditional and prep, and that was Peace and now Symbaroum. I'm also preparing the campaign for my local group. We won't do that until I think the 1st or 2nd week of September. I will roll up there and I will run their first campaign session. When I say campaign, the campaign itself, when I do campaigns, I never do a beginning and middle and end of the campaign. I basically just string a series of sessions together, and we just play it as long as we want to. There's never some like great dark deep secret or some great dark deep evil they have to deal with, or the world will come to an end. No, we just string together sessions with continuity of context and continuity of characters as we move on from session to session. So I don't have to prepare a campaign. I just want to prepare some open-ended launch session. So then we depending on where they go and what they do, we just roll into the next session. This is an icebreaker. David and I are going to rotate GMs in these Symbaroum online sessions, so I can't wait. I have never had an opportunity to play a character in Symbaroum, so I really await that. Justin, at some point in the future, may well run us in a campaign. Depends on Justin's schedule and what Justin has in store. However, I am hoping that at some point in the future, Justin can maybe line up to get us a little campaign going in Symbaroum. I would love to play a long-term character in Symbaroum. So I just want to talk about this. How much do I love this? That much, right? It is one of my all-time favorites, and it just so inspires me. The depth of the world setting in just the core book. This doesn't go real deep in the whole world, but it sets you up really well, and it puts you in a brilliant main city of Thistlehold, or the area surrounding Thistlehold, and then you're into the dark Dakovar for endless adventures. I really appreciate in the core book they make it clear, they drill into some detail to start you in this amazing world, but they're purposely vague about everything outside of that. I think a lot of that's been fleshed out in the other adventure books and the other material that's been written, but they make it clear. Feel free to make this your fantasy. You can create your own canon. I don't like IPs that suggest you really should stick to the canon strictly and never play with your own ideas. So I love that Symbaroum's basically, it gives us a great launch point, gives us enough for us to understand the nature of the world we're immediately in. But then, of course, they leave it so if they wanted to go into the mountains, we can play a little loose with the canon, or maybe some what's in the mountains, etc., or whatever. So very cool. Or deeper into the dark Dakovar, right? So they will have a traditional icebreaker session. This session is really about establishing the characters. I'm going to treat this. I mean, it's not a play test. I mean, we're playing Symbaroum, but we're going to probably have moments where we discuss the rules. We may have moments where we ask questions about a ritual or a spell or something, because this is a learning experience for all of us as well. David, Justin, and I think have all read the books. We're all read in. We're all briefed, read in, so to speak, on how this functions. So I don't think there'll be a lot of hangups. Dell, unfortunately, just doesn't have the books, and he hasn't had the time to read as much. And so we don't anticipate that's not a problem. We just facilitate the game. And I'm a friendly GM, so I'm okay with players saying, hey, I think the rule works this way. I'm okay with players saying, Jason, I'm not certain how to do this. I may even ask Justin or David, hey guys, what do you think about this particular, help me here with this particular power. So it's a chance for us to break the ice of Symbaroum as the rules, and really have a great session. So I just wanted to share this because I have been working on this for the last 3 or 4 days for the online game. I have been obviously working on the prep for my local group since I got home a couple of Saturdays ago when I knew we were going there. I ordered the starter box to give me a little more stuff too, and money well spent. I literally own 3 things. I own the Monster Codex. I always buy monster manuals for the games because they're part of the inspiration. When I want to talk about this, I was going to do a video. As a matter of fact, I did do a video on this book, and then I didn't put it up. So I thought, well, here's a good chance to talk about it. It is one of my favorite monster codexes I've ever seen, and there's a reason for that. There's great lore. Every creature in it, they dedicate a full page stuff to. So you get art, you get a write-up about the creatures or creature, you get the stat block, and then you get this amazing thing called adventure setup. And it's basically a 2-paragraph adventure setup that involves the creature. So if you're wondering how could I really kind of introduce, I mean, some of this stuff, some of these creatures are fairly unique. So, as a GM, you kind of want to say, well, where would I plop this particular creature in front of the players? Or how would I create a session in which they might meet this creature? And they've got this brilliant adventure setup, like 1 or 2 paragraphs that are kind of teasers on how you could introduce these particular beasts to the characters. So you're not floundering with, how do I get that beast in front of the players? You don't want to make some stupid, it's kind of like saying, it'd be like putting I don't know, a plane traveling demon in front of the players when there's no kind of foreshadowing of a plane, the existence of planes. So it's just that kind of thing you don't want to randomly drop on the players. You want it to be in context. So it's one of my favorite bestiaries, favorite books, the Monster Codex for Symbaroum. So I own both of these. This I got basically shortly before we quit playing locally. So it's basically brand new. The darn thing hasn't been used really. And of course the book's all I had when I was running them a couple of years ago. And then I did just pick this up. Oh, it looks like I knocked my camera back. And then of course I did pick up the starter set, which I wholly recommend. I think I got this for $29.99 from Amazon. And if you want to see the world, you want to read about the world, you want to see the maps, you want to see the character sheets, you want to see the expedition rules, this is a great buy to get your feet wet in Symbaroum. Even if you just wanted to play 3 or 4 sessions and never play again, this is a great buy. So thank you for watching. Everybody have a great day. Goodbye.